What's up, my peoples? You are now in tune with another episode of Mental Telepathy's Arena. And I am your host and lyrical genius, Black Titanium. And I'm coming at you in a way that I'm supposed to come at you, with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, for the sake of the black youth. Because if we're not fighting for the sake of our youth, then what's the point here? I mean, what's actually the point? So I keep the knowledge going, just to try to enlighten the youth. And I realize you got a lot of evil ass niggas out here who don't want the youth to hear shit, man. They want these niggas, these old, cornball ass niggas. And it's really a bigger ulterior motive to everything. You know what I'm saying? It's basically we basically live in a godless society. This is why God's wrath has come upon the earth right now, and He has shut their whole show down. Oh yeah, this is the reason. Let me tell you some of the reasons. Number one, because of the fact that idolatry is in such popular demand in this day and time. So many people are practicing magic, voodoo, and witchcraft. And the fact that they are, like, most women are consulting, like I told you before in my previous videos. Most women out here, they either consult the Jamaicans who practice voodoo, or they consult the Africans who practice voodoo and witchcraft, or they consult the Puerto Ricans who practice Santa Maria, and many other forms of witchcraft and magic, dark magic and stuff like that. So basically, due to the fact that we are, the righteous, we have been targeted in the spiritual warfare. God had to intervene because the devil now has so many soldiers. I'm trying to position this. The devil has so many soldiers right now that this is what's making the monster so big. Like when you see most of these white people out here, like say, like for example, Washington D.C. When you see something like they'll put it in basic in your face, like obviously in your face. They're like the Pentagon. If you look at the Pentagon, it's really a pentagram. If you look at it from the top, it's in this. They call it the Pentagon because they put it in the shape of a pentagram. So most people would never, you would have to look at it deep in depth to understand. You would see that it's a pentagram. Okay? So the fact of the matter is, back to the essence of the conversation, we are living in a godless society where people had given up their souls, had actually given up their souls for monetary gain, and power. Okay? So what they're doing now, the devil is to make a long story short, the devil is making one last run before they introduce the Antichrist, because he has to, in order for him, like I told you in my previous videos, the devil can't make people do anything. So he has to make things seem appealing in order to get their souls. So before God's wrath came upon the universe in the form of coronavirus and economic collapse, the devil was making his run, snatching souls at a rapid pace. If you notice, before the coronavirus came, before the coronavirus and the economic collapse started, basically what happened is that you had a bunch of people that were giving up their souls for monetary gain. So basically, many people were giving up their souls for monetary gain, and when they started getting all of this money, and if you notice that, if you look at a lot of people, they started getting a bunch of money out here, and niggas who didn't even have degrees, a bunch of these fake ass gangster niggas, they didn't even have degrees, and they was getting big time jobs, and they was paying these niggas $30-$40 an hour, giving them big money because they had made a pledge to the devil. So so in order for you to basically, you telling the devil that I want monetary gain, I want personal gain, I want this person hurt, I want that person hurt, and this is what they use it for, or they'll get somebody to teach them how to so-called control the evil spirits, the evil jinns. So when they do that, so they can basically get the spirits to hurt you, to hurt different people, or they can use them to do different types of things. But yeah, people were giving up their souls in a major way. But let me show you how the feds actually, basically, they just send their agents. These niggas will come by you and they start eavesdropping on your shit. Let me show you. Yeah, and they'll just come right by, motherfucker, like boldly come by, nigga. And before they do it, they'll send a police car by and bring their sirens and shit, and think that they mind fucking you before they send them niggas over, thinking that you won't stab their ass to death. You know what I'm saying? So basically, but back to the essence of the conversation, I'm just showing you how, every day, it's an everyday occurrence that I got the feds all over my back. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the devil's system. Like I told you, they worship, they Satanists. All of them niggas are, all the police, and the feds, them niggas are Satanists at the highest level. And on a military complex is Satanists. And this is why I was telling you about the Pentagon in the form of a pentagram. These niggas, they operate in the way of the devil. You feel me? So basically, we would have to understand that we living in a godless society. This is why God's wrath of coronavirus and the economic collapse came down upon their heads. Because what it was, the fact that, God has an amazing sense of humor. And his intellect runs on 70 million different levels. And like I said, we couldn't begin to grasp what that is. Okay? We couldn't begin to grasp what that is. So what he did, so basically, when he put the disease there, because he knew that if he just put the economic collapse there, it wouldn't. The economic system couldn't collapse if he didn't put the disease there. So by the disease being there, niggas can't go to work, and he put them in a catch-22 situation. He put them in a catch-22 situation. If you wanna open up shop, go ahead. And you niggas will just die because of it. Hold up, I gotta pause. I got all these old snitch ass niggas in there in the undercover fed. But anyway, I be having to pause because like I told you, I'm in. The feds is on me. They come by, they eavesdropping because they want to basically hear what you talking about before the shit gets run into the internet. You feel me? So they'll bring a bunch of agents by acting like they jogging, acting like they, walking their dogs, all type, just to eavesdrop on your conversation. Because they already got the phone tapped. But anyway, like I was saying, we living in a godless society, and this is why God brought his wrath down on their heads. And this is why I never have to really worry about getting revenge on nobody. Because when I see times like this, it strengthens my faith in God. Before this happened, they were spending every day harassing me with Illuminati puppet shows. They was basically, the haves was looking down on me because, whenever you don't accept their, you don't bow down to their democracy, they're going to try their best to crush you. And like I told you in my previous videos, white people are very pathological people. And which pathological as being, like, they could go out and kill 1 million people right now. They don't have no conscience. And they could, they'll go kill 1 million people, and then they'll come back and tell the American people, they'll say, we did this for the greater good of humanity. And then the rest of the time they'll just be posing as humanitarians like they the nicest people in the world, man. And the crazy part about it, they could be doing some crazy they could do you dirty right in your face. Right? Here's how pathological they are. They could do you dirty right in your face, and then you'll bring it up. And you'll say, these are y'all some dirty motherfuckers. Why y'all doing this? Da, da, da. And they'll stick out their chest in a dignified way. And like, why are you questioning my integrity? Yeah. They'll actually play the victim when you tell them what the fuck they doing. This is how pathological they are. They have no souls. They have absolutely no soul. And I mean a spiritual soul. They are when on the day of judgment, they are going to be spiritually bankrupt. They don't have no conscience. Like I told you, they can kill millions of people, man, and they don't care. They do not care. They will not lose a drop of sleep tonight. So this is the reason, one of the reasons, many reasons why God's wrath has come down upon them. And it ain't going. Basically, it's not going to end, because this is the beginning of the end of Revelations. This is when the chaos breaks. Man think that they are in control of the situation, when God is really in control of it. You understand what I'm saying? So basically, the devil and his followers are making one last run before we move into the phase of them introducing the Antichrist. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So whenever they see the righteous striving to be righteous or anything like that, they'll basically hunt you down. Them and their demonic worshipers. Like I told you, the police is Satanists, the feds are Satanists, and the military, the United States military complex is Satanists. All these niggas are Satanists at the highest level. And just like they're Satanists, you got the Muslims are Satanists, and I'm telling you that they are, because them niggas practice voodoo, witchcraft, and black magic. A lot of them niggas at the highest levels. But the Christians are Satanists. I see a bunch of them niggas that's Satanists. Like, and if you get a chance, let me give you a reference. Let me refer you to a book. It's an auditory book on YouTube called The Learned Elders of Zion. And it was written, the book was written like 50 years ago. And they was predicting everything that would happen in this day and time. And they said that the feds and the U.S. government would have so many agents on their team, meaning that so many people would make a pledge to the devil and give up their souls, that if you was a righteous person, whoever you would be talking to, you would basically just be talking to the feds. You would basically be talking to undercover agents. And that's what, when the feds is hunting you down, when the police is hunting you down, that's what they do. They surround you with all them niggas. This is why wherever I go, this is why it's designed for me to be on the streets. A lot of people say, yo, why did this dude he's crazy, man. This dude, no. I try to explain it to you in the best manner I can. Because I possess those magic glasses, and I feel like this. In this day and time right now, I'm looking at my redemption, so I don't really have to plead to nobody. I'm looking at my redemption through the current situation that's going on, coronavirus and the economic collapse that's looming, okay? So I really don't have to explain this because I'm really not pleading to nobody. I'm just trying to give you trying to summon up how the feds will do you dirty. How what's going on. So what they did, they basically designed it for me to be in the streets. It started out, I had Section 8. So basically, like Dr. Umar Johnson said in his videos one time, you should never let them in your house. Because if they see your kingdom, they'll know what type of Negro that you are. But I was in a catch-22 situation because having Section 8, you have to let them in. You have to let the white man in your house to inspect the house once a year. So what happened, I decided to transfer my Section 8 to another state. So after they came in my house for the inspection, they knew that I was, they seen all the pictures of Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and a lot of other militants. So they knew that I had some type of conscience. I had a conscious mind. So when I told them that I was moving, I gave them the keys and everything, a 30-day notice and everything. But what they did, they never closed the account. So when I did move to another state and I started looking for those apartments, everybody, they kept it a secret. Through the conspiracy, they kept it a secret. So what the people at the apartment would tell me, they would say, listen, you got bad credit. This is when they first started the bad credit thing. They always find things to try to keep black people out of housing. So basically, they said, you got bad credit. I was like, so I started thinking about my school. I said, damn, I owe UCLA. I owe them niggas like $60,000. So I started thinking it was my school, my student loans. So I said, hold up, let me go check that. So I started checking into it. I couldn't find none. So they was like, nah, it's not that. They can't deny you Section 8 apartment over student loans. Nah, it's not that. So I decided to go back to where I came from. And I went and I said, listen, I said, oh shit, you know what? These fools never gave me my security money. So let me go back to see if they got my security money. So when I go back to see if they got my security money, I asked them, I said, yo, y'all got my security money? Y'all never sent it. You told me you were gonna send it in the mail. And I knew I should have known that they was gonna fuck me out of the security money because they told me they was gonna. A landlord never tell you that they gonna send you your security money and they supposed to give you your money before you leave. But I was so in a rush to get up out of there that I just said, okay, I'll go for that. But when I went back and asked them for my security money, they said, we don't owe you no security money. You owe us money. And this is when I found out that they basically never closed down the account, because it was, the feds had already got to them and told them, say, don't close down the account. And as long as he got that eviction on his notice, because I never even knew I got evicted. They did that shit all in a 3-day span. This is how bad, the conspiracy ran far and wide with this shit. And this is on top of a lot of other things that I've been going through. So basically, they designed it for me to be out here in these streets. It was basically designed for me to either, be in a shelter or be on the streets. Or they would try to get me to, to go someplace like, a family member's house where they would do you dirty and try to, empty your pockets, or try to just basically do you dirty. So this is, I feel like this is, these days and times are my redemption. When you see God working like this, he's basically know that the conspiracy is running against his servants. There's a conspiracy against his servants. So he has to intervene at a certain time. When they start practicing all of this magic and witchcraft and voodoo, and you caught up in between that spiritual war, God said, this is just like God tells us in the Quran. He says, listen, if you suffer an affliction through their hands, they are going to suffer the same affliction and even worse. You don't even have to be there. You don't have to know it. Just know one thing, that I got at their ass. And this is what I know. So when I see situations like this, all these niggas trying to band together, all the evil ones trying to band together, saying, we got to band together. No, we got to fight this invisible entity. What they really talking about, the invisible enemy, they really talking about fighting against God. You feel me? They are really talking about fighting against God, and it's a no-win situation for them, man. And my advice to those who watch the video, don't fall for the trickery, man. Don't fall for the devil's trickery, because what they're going to try to make the masses think is that they trying to band together with everybody, when they're really not trying to band together with everybody. It's just the evil ones are trying to band together to fight against God. When they resurrected all this gay agenda, resurrected Sodom and Gomorrah and all of this stuff, and try to force it down the public's throat. This is why God intervened, trying to turn all the black youth into homosexuals, and all the black sisters into lesbians and shit, and all these niggas into demons and witches. This is what they trying to do to the society. We living in a godless society right now. Most of these chicks you see out here, they put these black chicks with these big mouths that be talking all this shit. They talk, their rage don't just stems from a lot of black men fucking over them. I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of black men out here, a bunch of these rapists and pedophile ass niggas who help the system fuck over their minds. But it's deeper than that now. No, it's not just that no more. They try to lean on that excuse, but it's no longer that. When you see these chicks, these black chicks out here who got these evil mentalities, and got these they manipulating niggas against you and shit like that. These are chicks that are possessed with the Jezebel spirit, man. They got that evil. They possessed with sex demons and the Jezebel spirit. This is why they manipulate niggas and use their sexual organs as a tool. A lot of these women out here are possessed with sex demons, and this is another reason why God intervened. All of this stuff, because we live in a godless society. This part of a godless society, and when the whole evil system becomes corrupt, this is how you know what's happening right now. You got to match it up, the current events, with the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran. And it says in the Bible that the trumpets will be blown. The trumpets will be blown when when everybody but God's servants have been corrupted. And this is what happened in this day and time. Everybody has been corrupted. You know, everybody has been corrupted in a system with the resurrection of Sodom and Gomorrah. All these niggas turning into homosexuals, all these chicks turning into lesbians. You know, and they trying to make you think that it is the norm, when if you read it in the Bible, in the Torah, and the Quran, it tells you that it's an abomination. It gave you an example of the people of Lot. The people of Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah. He gave God said in the Bible, in the Torah, and the Quran, he said, let this be an example for the nations to come. Let this be an example for the nations to come. When he destroyed the people of Lot, he said, let this be an example of the people to come, so that they could use this and know that they should never ever resurrect that ever again. And know that they should never ever resurrect that ever again. And here they are. And so basically, due to the fact that the white man is so pathological, what he does, and so evil, and due to the fact that the feds and the police and the government and the military complex are Satanists, what they do, they resurrect all of this stuff to make a mockery of God. They resurrect all of this, the gay agenda. No, they resurrect all of this witchcraft and voodoo and idolatry. They resurrect all of that and make it the norm of society. And everything that's righteous, they make that outcast. That's why we live in a day and time where they make it look like the righteous are not to be trusted, and they got it where the evil ones are in the workplaces, in the workforces, and everywhere else, in governments. They're making it look like these niggas are the humanitarians. They're the ones to be trusted. They're the ones who's the teachers. They're the ones who's the mentors and things of that nature. So that they can get the youth to follow behind them. They know damn well it's not an invisible entity. But then when they say invisible entity, they're basically saying we're fighting against God. This is why on all their Satanist symbols, the cross is inverted, turned upside down, and everything else. Because they do all of this to make a mockery of God. This is why I speak for the youth, our black youth. Because what you have to understand is deeper than just the physical now. It's the spiritual war that's been declared on our youth. If you notice, our black youth, no, I'm not talking about the niggas that's 16, 17, and they've reached the point of no return. Because a lot of these niggas have reached the point of no return. They start following the devil. They worship all this other stuff. I'm talking about the black youth. Because I speak for the black youth because, like I told you, the children, no matter what color they are, children are God's only source of light on the earth. So when you see all of these Satanists, like the police, the government, and the feds, and all of them niggas, and all these black chicks that got these big mouths, they possessed with the Jezebel spirit, and all of these evil niggas out here. No, like I told you, witchcraft and all of that shit is by popular demand. So when they start practicing, when they start doing their little sacrifices, this is why they use children. This is why they sacrifice children. This is why they use sigil magic to practice magic on children and everything. Because and so basically, by the time they get 14, 15, they be little demons in training. This is why when you go out to cities like Baltimore, and them little niggas ain't children, them niggas are demons in training at the age of 16. You go to New York, them little niggas ain't kids, they demons in training. Unless you actually catch it on time and try to get a hold of it. But due to the fact that this is the reason why, they broke down the black family structure and try to get the black man out the picture. Because they basically wanted the child to have no guidance. So this is why you see a lot of black youth acting the way they act. They demons in training. because they ran into the wolves after the mother created the monster out of them. And this is why I speak for the black youth, because because basically they are being targeted. They are being targeted physically and spiritually and mentally. Mental warfare, spiritual warfare, and physical warfare, man. And basically, if we don't get a hold of this, man. I mean, we don't really have to get a hold of it now, because the beginning of the end has started. Because the whole system has been corrupted. Because the whole of the system has been corrupted. So this is why God's wrath is coming down. This is how you know, because it was already written in Revelations that all of this was going to happen. And it says when the whole of when the vast majority of the system becomes corrupt, and all of these niggas start practicing magic and voodoo and witchcraft and idolatry, and everybody starts practicing homosexuality and lesbianism, God has to intervene, man. All of them niggas are getting dropped off in the hellfire, man. Especially homos and lesbians. They gotta go. They don't even get judged. They get dropped because it's an abomination. I don't give a see. That's what they, and that's another thing about society. They try to make it look like you're actually the one who's wrong for even bringing up an abomination, because we, like I said, we live in a godless society. So basically, when you bring it up, like they make you the culprit. You can get fired. You could get arrested. You could get killed by the Satanists. All of this. Whenever you bring up the abomination. But if you're a person of God, and you're one of the righteous ones, because that's who I'm talking to, the people of God, and the righteous ones, man, and the youth, who need to be protected at all costs, man. Because if you wasn't protecting them in that world that we just left, what's coming now, the storm that's coming on them now, because they're the ones who's going to have to inherit the storm that's coming now. And trust me, this is only the tip of the iceberg, man. Coronavirus and economic collapse looming is only the tip of the iceberg, man. And if you don't start teaching your kids now, because basically, you should be going, oh shit, my kid can't even go to school no more. This is how godless the society has become. They don't even want to teach the kids no more. They create a situation where they're telling y'all, man, just send them kids home, man. We ain't doing that, man. Let the parents, if the parents don't know nothing, if they want to be slaves, the kids won't know anything. So this is why I speak for the sake of the youth, man. No, because basically, for many reasons, and I speak for the sake of the youth for those reasons, and for the sake of the youth, because we got to keep black